Okay, for a while I have thought about doing this, but been very hesitant because how stupid I was when this happened. Roughly in December of 2011, or in that year, my brother bought himself a gun, but he also wanted somebody to shoot with. So in December, he got me a gun as well. Now he was back ordered, so I didn't receive it until January 10th or 11th. But that's not the point of this. The point of this is the massive mistake I made. When I had seen some YouTube videos. I know not the best thing to do when you're trying to learn about your gun, but hey, they work. And one of the videos was showing a complete takedown of the gun, including removing the firing pin. So I got bored and figured, what the heck, I'll give it a shot. So what I had done, here's the gun. Now, for this, we are going to pretend the magazine is full. I'm not going to fill it for this because, well, what I'm going to have to do is kind of dumb, but anyways. What I had done is to make sure it was empty, which is the bat you're supposed to remove the magazine, then check the chamber in case there's something in there. What I had done was the exact opposite. What I did was I looked inside, and there was nothing in the chamber itself. But again, the magazine was full, so when I did that, it loaded around the chamber. Again, thought it was empty. So then I took the magazine out, and on these, the slide will not come off if the trigger's engaged. So what I did was this, pull down the two slots, went forward with it, and again, can't take it off with an engaged trigger. I'm not going to do the exact thing, but what I did is I put my hand like this, so when I pull the trigger, it would come off. So I put my hand right here, pull the trigger, but when I did that, the round in the chamber went off. It went into my palm about here, and came out right there. Now, for the first 20 minutes, my brain kind of erased the memory of it actually happening, but all I had was blood here dripping out. I thought I just skinned myself. So I figured if I could control the bleeding, stop it, no need to call the cops, because apparently my neighbors didn't hear anything. So while I was drying that out, and while I noticed it stopped bleeding, I just happened to look on the other side and see a hole. And it's just 20 minutes in. Now, at that point, I had to call the cops because, well, I needed medical attention. They showed up, did their thing, brought me to the hospital, took my gun. But the whole moral of this is, no matter what, whether you believe your gun is empty, I know most people know this, whether you believe your gun is empty, you better check that thing over and over again, and also dry fire at least one time to make sure there is nothing in there. Most people know this, but I've seen a lot of videos with negligent discharges. In my case, accidental, because, well, even though I did put around the chamber, in my mind, it was empty. I just happened to check the chamber first, and then pull the magazine, which I should have done the other way, pull the magazine, and then check the chamber. But yes, I had my stupid moment, and this was basically 4 days after I got my gun. So I know there's lots of videos on this, but I can't stress enough that even if you know for a fact, 100% for a fact that it's empty, you check that chamber at least 4 or 5 times, make sure there's no magazine in it, and you pull the trigger facing in a safe direction. It'll save you the trouble of doing the really dumbass thing I did. And yes, I admit it was a complete dumbass thing to do. Luckily, people say I'm lucky I didn't shoot myself in the heart, but it wasn't aimed that way. Unfortunately, my left hand isn't 100% up to specs because, well, I had most of my strength back, but if I try to lift too much, I get a slight pain on my wrist because apparently when the bullet entered, it blew up my wrist. And the bone here, there's a titanium plate running through, because there's a gap about that big in my bone because the bullet shattered it like glass. So, well, always safety first, no matter what. I don't care if you have X-ray vision and you can see the fact that there's no bullets in there. You always check it, because, well, I've seen videos where people say everybody's always going to have an accidental discharge, which it's possible, but there's easy ways to avoid it. And if you do, Just make sure you're not an idiot and aiming it at a body part. Well, that's pretty much it. Make comments, make insults, I don't care. I pretty much, when it happened, I insulted the crap out of myself. I admitted to my stupid mistake. Unlike other people who have done it, I didn't blame the gun at all. I didn't say it was the gun's fault because, well, in order for this to happen, I had to have pulled the trigger.